Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Lewis Lee. A teenager has been named the most red-headed Icelander at a festival in a town that honors its Irish roots. Vigdis Berna won the competition. She's 13 years old and lives in HallowCon's in West Iceland, about 12 miles north of the capital of Reykjavik. The town's Irish roots date back to brothers Thermidor and Kettle Parson, who settled the region in about 880 AD. Breaking news. This just in, Uncle Carl has already called his travel agent and booked a flight. Bon voyage, Uncle Carl. He likes those redheads. That's the news. Back to you.
Good one. Good one.
Really.
And I posted a link to the story because I didn't have an easy way of showing you the picture, because a story like that's worthless without pictures. I put the link on the Stupid O'Clock page. You talk about some cute kids, man. I mean, copper top.
All right. I'll see if I can yank something up here real quick. But it sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She is redheaded. All right, yeah, I can pull that up here.
The little girl that got second place, it's just her expression is just cute. But anyway, I thought that would be fun.
And where'd y'all go? There you are. Yeah, here's the picture.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's Vigdis.
That is copper topped.
You bet you. Got the freckles to prove it.
Yeah. Oh, guys, I hate to do this. I can't see. I've had one of my bad migraines all day.
Oh.
It's one of those can't stand light.
Well,
Lewis,
turn it off. Turn the light off. You'll look better to us too.
Yeah.
Everybody will have fewer headaches. Okay.
Yeah, we'll all turn our lights off, and we'll just do this in subdued light.
Yeah.
We'll play some Barry White in the background and just kind of chill.
Lewis, I'm gonna leave you in charge. Just boot anybody that gives any trouble.
Lewis doesn't have control. John, that'll be you.
Yeah, but it's the troublemakers. Okay.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I hate to do this, guys. I can't see. Honestly, I can't see. I've got the weird migraine that my vision's doing this to me.
Well, that's with any migraine.
Yeah.
That's one of the symptoms.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a migraine.
All right, I'm gonna jump out. I'll listen, but I think I'm gonna try to keep my eyes closed the rest of the night.
Oh,
sounds like a
Dan
plan.
does that a lot of times, even when he's on camera.
Yeah, but I'm still talking.
Even in your sleep too. Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Take you a couple of
especially after
slices. Lay back in bed and lay the dill pickle slices on your eyelids.
Oh yeah, that'll once that vinegar burns down in there, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll completely forget about your migraine.
Yep. And we got two Josh Kemps.
Yeah, no, okay, we had Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, and both of them left.
And both of them left. All right, guys, I hate to do it, but yeah, I got to go because I'm seeing everything just freaky crazy. All right, we'll holler at y'all later.
All right.
Hope you get feeling better.
You take care.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Oh.
What kind of trouble can we get into now?
All kinds.
Well, I'm just picturing Joe Dog laying on his bed with the two pickle slices over his eyes, and then him getting attacked by his chihuahuas.
Oh God!
Pickles are made from cucumbers, Willow. Duh.
They're just preserved.
Yeah.
Oh, we went back to that Bosnian restaurant tonight. Speaking of pickled, and my wife had the the sarma, which is a cabbage roll, but the cabbage has been pickled. She liked it. Cabbage is okay, not pickled cabbage. She said
I
it
don't know.
reminded her of something she used to eat as a kid in Minnesota. So
Well, pickled cabbage, it just depends on how it's pickled. You know.
Yeah. I mean, chow chow is basically just pickled cabbage.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Oh, yes. I'd absolutely adore sauerkraut.
You know, my mom used to make sauerkraut, but I didn't like sauerkraut. But she would also cook baby red potatoes in the sauerkraut, and she'd fish them out and make mashed potatoes. I would eat the hell out of them, but I didn't like the sauerkraut. I don't know.
I never really liked sauerkraut as a kid. I mean, it was okay, you know. And one thing, there was this thing we used to get all the time. It was like sauerkraut, and they chop up sausage and put it in.
That's sauerbraten, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was okay, you know. But then I got stationed in Germany.
And you had the real thing.
And got the real thing. And it's like all the American sauerkraut tastes like candy compared to German sauerkraut. They just put too much sugar in it here in the US.
Well, you got to make it palatable for American taste.
But one of the things I started doing, I make my own sauerkraut, and I make it German style. And then I'll add white wine vinegar to it. Which gives it a real
pungent,
interesting flavor. And it goes better with bread and bratwurst. So.
Sounds good.
Speaking of bread, that restaurant, the Tata's Grill, serves Lapanya bread with just about everything. It's a flat bread, and they'll slice it open and then butter it and grill it. Oh my God, it's so good.
I'm glad I just ate.
Same here.
Oh, I had to skip my last break today. So,
oh no.
Yeah. Well, it was too busy of a day at work.
Hey, there's an idea. If we could get everybody together in Chattanooga, we could go to Tata's.
Absolutely. I mean, there's something for everybody there. They got a chicken Philly cheesesteak that they serve on that Lapanya bread. They've got a cheeseburger. They have chivapi, which is lamb and beef sausage on bread.
That's
little something for everybody. And like I said, I have the goulash when I go, and wow, it's just so mild and so flavorful. It's really good.
Cool.
And there's enough liquid to stop up with that bread.
Now that we've messed up everybody's dinner plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they haven't already eaten dinner, I'm sorry.
Now she wants borscht. Now we're not even talking Russian food. Oh my God, that's a whole nother can of worms. Do they eat worms?
Well,
I don't think so.
They eat children.
Yeah, Bill.
Speaking of Russian, I had a news story that you could have read tonight that just happened over in Champaign yesterday. It's not about somebody breaking out of jail. It's about somebody breaking in jail. And it's an Urbana man who has a Russian name that I cannot begin to pronounce the first name. Nikolov is the last name. And he stole a pickup truck from Feldkap's Towing yesterday about 8:30 a.m. and drove it to the Champaign County Highway building. The man got into the vehicle owned by the county and tried to start it up, and he said he got out and returned to the other stolen truck that he got. He drove to the Champaign County Jail in Urbana there. It's their satellite jail. The man tried to plow into the jail's sally port. Well, first he tried to walk in there and he was denied entry. And so he drove the truck through the security gate, the north side of the jail, and rammed the vehicle repeatedly into the Sally Port door. And then the man breached that Sally Port door, which those of you who don't know, a Sally Port door is basically a big garage door that the police will go in and out of. It's like a big underground garage when they're transporting
So they
prisoners.
unload prisoners without risk of escape.
Right, yeah, or transporting prisoners from the jail to court, stuff like that. So this guy broke in there, and anyway, he hit an empty transport van while he was in that garage. I guess that's when the police said that he got out, yelled at the correctional officers, got back into the truck, drove it through the other Sally Port door, the exit one. And then after the truck left the Sally Port, the man drove the truck up the sidewalk toward the glass doors on the west side of the entrance of the building, which would be the visitors' entrance to the jail. The correction officers got out of the building to confront him, and Nikolov drove the truck towards them. One correctional officer fired a service pistol at the truck, did not hit Nikolov, but had to dive out of the way to avoid being struck by the truck as it drove towards him. Then the man drove the truck away from the building, circled back around, drove parallel to the building, and at that point, Nikolov swerved the truck towards another correctional officer. The man on the left, next to the man, left the jail, headed north on Learman Avenue. Then he crashed the truck into the ditch on Main and Learman Streets. That's when the police said that he got out, fled on foot towards the north, and went into the parking lot of the Line IFS building. The prosecutor said that Nikolov tried to get into an Line IFS vehicle. Next, he attempted to pull a woman out of her pickup truck as she was trying to air up a tire on her horse trailer. The woman was actually able to fight him off as all these police arrived and took him into custody. Now, this guy, he was arrested for and charged with possession of stolen motor vehicle, criminal damage to government-supported property, attempted first-degree murder, and vehicular invasion. The other part of the story that I heard on our radio station this morning was this is not the first dealing with this guy. He was recently arrested up in Rantoul, Illinois, just this past weekend for banging on people's storm doors, trying to break in with a huge Japanese katana sword. Where's Nick Tockert when you need him?
Yeah,
And
really.
he got taken into custody and I guess released. And he has been known to sell methamphetamines, magic mushrooms, and all sorts of other things in the past that he was already on probation on when he did all this thing yesterday.
Well,
So,
he should have done enough now that they don't have to worry about releasing him.
Yeah, I believe he's going to get a room.
He wanted to get into prison.
And they are actually not holding him in the Champaign County jail because of fear of him trying to escape from there. So he is currently over in the McLean County jail.
Higher security, I bet.
Evidently, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this sounds like an individual who cannot make it in the free world. He needs the comfort and security of incarceration.
Evidently.
There are actually people like that.
Oh,
There are people who, when they get released from prison, they can't or won't make it on their own, so they immediately, reoffend so that they can get back in the joint.
Oh,
yeah.
Cotton three hots.
I was about to say, I mean, I have family members that they can't stay out of jail for 6 months.
Yep.
They have to have that discipline.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
let me tell
Do
you,
they own katanas?
3 o'clock in the morning, having that toilet right next to the bed is damn convenient.
it really is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on an all-night bender
All I can say is
or
thank
coming
you,
off an
Samuel
all-night
Cole.
bender.
Yep. I'm going to have to duck out for a second. Joe sent me a message, and I got to figure out what he's talking about. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
I guess that leaves me in charge, huh?
Oh, God. Talk about the inmates running the asylum.
Doom.
Run away, run away.
All right. Okay, my interesting subject for today. Have you guys ever heard of something in California called the Salton Sea?
No.
Okay. Salton Sea is an area, it was a low-lying area in California that was like a desert. Okay. It was just barren. And back, I want to say it was in the 30s, 20s or 30s, they tried diverting a big canal off of, and I believe it was the Colorado River, to run water into this area because the south end of the Salton Sea was farmland. So they wanted to do more irrigation. So running this canal down there to run water to the farmland, and they broke the river, leave it to California. And the river where they're running the canal through, and they broke the river, flooded into this area, and it just started dumping the entire Colorado River into this flat area. And after a while, it was like 30 to 40 feet deep, a couple miles across one direction, a couple miles across the other direction. It was huge. Okay. And because they built this basically giant lake overnight, okay, it became a popular tourist destination for recreation people, boats and swimming and just everything that goes along with having a lake, and resort hotels and cabin rentals and RV parks and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, this lasted for a long time. The problem was it had no drainage. So they eventually fixed where the river and canal broke, and they started running the water into the farmland. And there were some industrial areas over there as well. But because they were basically force farming this area, and the soil wasn't that great, not by California standards anyway, they started using more nitrates, phosphates, and pesticides and herbicides and everything else that they were using to keep this farmland going. And as the water came in, it started draining off into this lake and turned it into this just huge vat of poison, and it killed everything. And the lake started drying up. All the fish died, all the plants died, everything. And it went from being a resort destination to being one giant toxic waste dump that's been slowly drying up over the years. It can't drain, so the only way it's drying up is by evaporation. Of course, every time it rains, it gets more water, but anyway, so it's this huge eyesore, and they've done specials on it occasionally, showing off the beach that used to have this nice sandy area to it because it was a desert and it had desert sand. The beach that had all this nice sand is now covered in dried, crushed fish bones from all the dead fish in the lake that died.
Wow.
Just the whole beach is nothing but fish bone. Well, GM, okay, has gone out there and done some experiments, and they have found lithium in the Salton Sea. And they have come up with a plan to extract the lithium from the Salton Sea to make electric vehicle batteries. And I'm trying to find, let me see, it was millions of tons of lithium that they can extract from this place. And it's just huge. It's all over the internet right now. This huge story about how they're going to be able to get all this lithium out of the area. They just got to build the plant to do it now.
Man, don't sell it. Don't sell it to Russia.
That's one of the things that ticked me off a long time ago, back in the 70s, when they were talking about electric vehicles, the energy crisis of the 70s. And basically, every car manufacturer that built gasoline cars killed the electric vehicles as fast as somebody could come up with a design for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chattanooga early on had the electric buses. And they used to build them right here in town.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it never really caught on outside of Chattanooga, as far as I know. Just, again, big money gasoline, big money oil.
Mm-hmm.
And but I always thought back in those days that the United States should have run with electric cars, electric buses, electric trucks, and sold them overseas to places like India and China that didn't have that much oil, revenue coming in or anything like that, but had, the capability of producing electricity and could run electric vehicles. And we could have dominated the planet on electric vehicles back then, and just never did.
Still be tops today.
No, because if we start coming up with a decent electric vehicle, China and India.
No,
and countries
if we had done it in the 70s, we would still be on top
of the electric market.
Yeah.
I've always wondered why we never came up with hybrid transfer semi trucks. Ask any truck driver if he'd like to see his fuel cost cut down to 1/4 of what they are right now.
Oh yeah.
I
Could you
believe that
imagine
would
if they put solar panels on the top of all the trailers and had a cable that would go to the tractor's motor?
My idea for that, the reefer trailers, got the heater, air conditioner up front.
Yeah.
Make one of those that's a hybrid, runs on the small reefer engine, but has a battery that can run the refrigeration, the climate control inside the trailer.
Yeah.
Run the solar panels across the top of the trailer to keep that thing topped off.
Mm-hmm.
And especially these trucks that have to drive through Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California.
Yeah.
In the heat, well, even then the reefer trucks are having a hard time keeping that thing cool.
Yeah.
With cargo running.
Yeah, and God knows how many immigrants you can stuff into one of those things.
That's going the other direction. But.
Depends if you charge them rent or just transportation fees.
Yeah.
Both. Most of our here in Tuscaloosa, I believe they've transferred or converted all of their mass transit buses to LNG.
We've got a bunch of them here in Chattanooga, but the main thing we've got is those downtown electric shuttles.
Yeah,
and they do a damn good job, and they're free. They're free to ride.
Yeah, it's you show up and ride it for free. And what's really cool about it is they're not big buses.
Nope.
They can get in and out of traffic a little bit better than a big bus can. So they're about half the size.
The only time I use them is during Riverbend, but that's so you can park way out of downtown where it's cheaper and then take the free shuttle in.
Right. That's the other nice thing.
Gate.
That's the other nice thing about them. They go to some of the larger parking areas in Chattanooga, which we need more of.
Yeah.
What is it? There's that area. It used to be the old U.S. Pipe and Steel plant down there. It's just nothing now. Yeah. But I've always thought that they need to turn that into a new convention center.
It would probably be nice, but they have announced the plans. It is going to be a mixed use, residential, commercial, industrial.
My idea,
and the industry is going to be light industry. It's going to be like putting stuff together, not foundries. So
too bad. I'd like to see a nice foundry. But
they're almost done with the Publix down there. So
my idea was you put in it's a convention center in the center, and then like 4 hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of doing one of these high-end convention centers that you have to pay $200 a night to, for a room,
Mm-hmm.
make it like Motel 6.
Hmm.
$60 a night, basic amenities, and maybe a few nicer rooms in the place.
Mm-hmm.
But about 80 rooms per building. And each building has its own small convention space, and then it has one large convention center.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
But the other thing I was thinking about was, make it showcase renewable energy, like solar power or the electric buses and stuff like that. All the buildings will have solar panels across the roofs. All the parking lots will have solar panels across the parking areas. And then have a bus station out front that uses solar panels to help recharge their power station, and B, uses it to recharge the buses and such, and power the bus station. Run the electric buses all the way down there so that you run them back into town. And the other thing I was going to put in there, and it's something they've been harping about for forever, put a police station in it at the bus station.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have a police station in the south part of the city, and desperately need one.
Yeah.
They keep putting all these trendy businesses down there, and the crime rate is
don't last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because it's right there on the river, you could even do hydroelectric.
Yeah.
Because right there, the current of the Tennessee River is still pretty dang strong right there at Moccasin Bend.
There's only one problem with it right there.
Now, I'm not saying you're going to run the whole city on it, but you could run a large portion of the hotel on hydroelectric.
I'm trying to remember what they call them, where they just put them on the side of the river and kind of forces the water into it and runs the turbine. And it's
that's what I'm talking about. Just put it near the bank.
The only problem
out of navigation.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that's a tough part for the barges to get through because of the bend. Another pet peeve about Chattanooga, and Lewis, you can put this in somebody's ear. You know how you get these signs on the side of the interstate that tell you what businesses are at the next exit?
Yeah.
And it tells you motels, gas stations, restaurants.
Yeah.
Big blue board.
Right.
They have never, for some reason, put any of those through that area of downtown, pointing up Broad and Market to all those restaurants.
Yeah.
The only things they got 2 signs, one for the choo-choo, one for the aquarium.
Yeah.
That's it. And of course, all the hotels downtown, they tax the hell out of, but they can't even do them the service of putting up a damn sign saying, hey, there's a hotel down here.
Yeah. Now, do you know, and I didn't until a few years ago, the businesses have to pay to have their logos put on those signs.
No, that's what I was just about to ask. I wonder if the business, because that's a state sign. Correct?
Yeah, the state will put it up, but you gotta pay for it. And
somebody
needs $1,000 a sign to have the state make the metal plate with your logo and all that stuff, and then put it up there.
They need to get those signs put up and let all the businesses have a death match to see who gets their logo up there.
Let them advertise.
There's a bunch of them down there.
Okay, here's the thing. There are a bunch of really good restaurants down there that just don't get enough business because nobody driving through Chattanooga knows they're there.
Yeah.
And the parking's ridiculous.
Except Blue Plate. It sucks.
Well, I was just about to say, y'all sound like Chattanooga sounds like the same problems we have here. I mean, nobody knows where anything is. They've screwed up the river by throwing up. We got an Indigo on the river, which is like 10 stories, and they built just crap. I mean, they didn't stick to the riverfront plan that they was saying they was going to do. So
now, Chattanooga has an awesome riverfront and it's even getting better every year. I mean, they started the riverfront conversion over 25 years ago. When I first got here, they were just finishing up the aquarium, and the aquarium, everybody says a fishbowl down in the warehouse district. Didn't stay a warehouse district for long, Bubba, because after the aquarium there was the 412, was the 412 or 414 restaurant. And I mean, just business after business started building up around that aquarium, getting all those tourist dollars. And the whole riverfront is completely redone now. I mean, it used to be a couple of docks, and now it's super, super nice. We hold a festival out there every year that people aren't running scared from COVID.
Well, I was going to say, our mayor and I think the whole city council, when they started our river project over 15 years ago, came up there to Chattanooga to, kind of get a sense of what they wanted to do. And they went the opposite way. They've got, they've actually built student housing on the river. It's like,
what?
Yeah.
No, that's where you want to put your high dollar real estate.
Exactly.
Students can't afford high dollar.
I mean, we've got an amphitheater on the river, which is great. Love it. It's like an 8,400 seat amphitheater. Love where it's at. And the Indigo don't bother me. It's a very nice hotel, but other than that, there's a couple of restaurants and a farmer's market on it. And that's all I care for down there.
Yeah. You see, our riverfront condos start out at $500,000.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Let me show y'all something here real quick. Let me see here.
Ooh.
All right.
I remember that neighborhood.
Yeah. I went to the Mayan kitchen, and that was right after I had gotten back from Mexico.
And it didn't impress.
Wasn't the same as what I got from real Mayans.
Okay. Here's 24 coming up, heading up toward Missionary Ridge and stuff like that. And these are the two big intersections that head you downtown. There's Broad Street. And stuff like that. And I don't know if you can see it, but you can see all these restaurants all up through here. Let me see if I can.
If you quit moving it.
Oh, all right.
City Cafe.
Yep. One of the best restaurants in town right there.
City Cafe is the only restaurant I know that has a book as a menu. I mean, they've got thousands of items, every imaginable type of food, and oh my God, the desserts. Everything from cheesecake to 10-layer cakes to peanut butter pies to cannolis.
All right, here we go. Let me see here. There's the baseball field. Here's our river park, Southern Belle.
Oh, Puckett's. Puckett's is good.
Puckett's.
Right by the aquarium.
Oh, see here.
Puckett's Grocery and Restaurant.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there. Right there. That's a good place.
There's our walking bridge. There's our fish tanks. Ice cream, Whiskey Thief, Buffalo Wild Wine. Yeah, got all these Puckett's, and then Cold Stone Creamery ice cream. Then you got let me see, Ben and Jerry's Mellow Mushrooms. There's Big River Grill.
Yeah.
Jack's Liquor Store. No, that's just like a Chattanooga. That's like a Chattanooga landmark.
Sticky Fingers is decent barbecue. Oh, Rodizio Grill.
Rodizio Grill.
Brazilian Steakhouse, really good.
Five Guys Burgers.
Yep.
What? No Dollar General?
It's on the other side of the river.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It literally is on the other side of the river.
Mayan Kitchen. Cupcake Kitchen. See what Family Dollar. That's kind of like Dollar General.
Yeah.
yeah, same thing. Sister to it.
Let's see where's
Okay. Now, when you get down to Main Street, you got a bunch on Main Street too.
Yeah. Then you got there's all your
There you go, Greek plate.
Greek plate. Where Shangri-La? Where's Greek plate? Oh, they're Greek plate. Okay.
It's across from Community Pie.
Pete's. Reed House has a couple of. They got a Starbucks and
Yeah,
nice
well, they've got
steak
Bridgman's Chop House, which is an
Bridgman's
excellent
Chop House,
steak
nice
restaurant.
restaurant. City Cafe. Anyway, Pickle Barrel. Got to go to the Pickle Barrel.
Yeah.
What's the population of Chattanooga?
What,
What, 150?
175, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere over 150, under
Computer.
180.
What's the population of Chattanooga, Tennessee?
In 2017, the population of Chattanooga was 179,000 people.
179,000. Very good, John. Way to
That-
stay on top of the census
I don't have
figures.
an answer for that.
Well,
gonna
you got to remember, a lot of them are temporary workers that are working remotely.
Well, I was just about to say, county-wide, we're over 200,000, which a lot of that's students that, come and go. But
Yeah.
You ever been to Tupelo, honey? Lewis?
No, my wife has. She's been trying to get me to go, but I think they got weird hours, so it's kind of hard for me to get down there. Yeah, open at 11.
Opens at 11 a.m.
I don't think they're open at dinner. I think it's just a lunch place.
Okay. Public house. Let me see here.
Yeah, I've been to the public house.
See, Southside Bistro. What's that one at the Chattanooga has a restaurant in there?
Yeah, Chattanooga has, I think, 2 restaurants inside.
High Rail Rooftop Bar. I haven't been to that one.
Yeah.
Southern Star Takeout.
Yeah. I ate at Southern Star last week, I believe.
You don't sound very happy about it.
Well, it was a business meeting, so I kind of ate light, didn't really enjoy myself. Here you go, Bluegrass Grill. Oh man, talk about a good breakfast right down on Main Street.
are they playing
You can't see
bluegrass?
where I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Are they
There
playing?
you go.
Are they playing bluegrass while you're eating?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, they play
do. They
hip-hop.
do play bluegrass and Need Love's Cafe. That's a great. Oh, Flying Squirrel. Yeah, Need Love's is a great place to get bread.
Oh, Need Loves. There we go.
Yeah, and then right down from there, State of Confusion. Oh, Blue Fox Cheese Shop and Adele's Creperie, a restaurant that specializes in crepes.
Mm.
You gotta love that. And then right down from Adele's Creperie, a little bit farther down Main, is a pizza place. It's Southside Pizza. Oh, brick oven fired pizza, really good stuff. Yeah, so there's a bazillion
Now,
really
is Miss
good
Griffin's
restaurants.
is
and-
Miss
and-
Griffin still open?
Miss Griffin's, I don't know. Oh yeah, hot dog. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still open.
Okay.
Hey, Lewis,
Uh-huh.
did they have Cubans rolling those crepes at that crepe restaurant?
Don't know. Yeah, Joe Dog says Zarzar's on right off of Main Street behind the firehouse. Let's see. That's good. Right there. You can't see where I'm pointing.
No, I
To the
can't.
left, you can cursor.
Of course not. I'm looking at another screen. I can't even see you right now.
Over here.
Zarzar's is third. Right there.
Hey, Scott.
That's a little locally owned hole in the wall. I mean, they got seating for 12, but really good. The guy can make anything on a flat top.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody we know.
Huh.
I'm trying.
I've never heard of that one.
Kendamaya.
Yeah. Must be a hole in the wall. Which probably means the food's great.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that was my experience over in England too. If it was a little hole in the wall place, you were bound to have some good
Yeah.
meat.
Well, in the United States, pub food is a derogatory term, but over in England, pub food is good, isn't it?
Oh Lord,
I
yes.
think pub food is good no matter where you go, personally, but that's just me.
Well, but I'm
weird.
saying that in the United States, if you say, "Oh, it's pub food," that's supposed to be like, "No, it's not serious cuisine.
Well,
it's
I have a
just something
theory
to eat
about
while
that.
you drink."
I have a theory about that. There are some
Pray
pubs
tell.
you go to, the food is great, but then there's other pubs you go to that you are a tourist. Okay, they're going to serve you whatever they think you'll pay for.
Mhm.
So basically, the regulars, get the good stuff, and you get the tourist food. I have a theory about haggis. Okay. You always hear about how terrible haggis is, right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't exist if somebody wasn't eating it. Nobody makes. Yeah, nobody makes
Scotsmen
horrible.
are the only ones that eat haggis.
Somewhere in the world, there's got to be somebody who's making the best haggis, and it's really good. Okay, they just don't share it with tourists.
You think that's what it is?
I'll put money on that. There is somebody in Scotland that makes the best haggis, and everybody will go. Well, they won't tell an American, but they'll tell everybody. They'll tell all the other Scots. Oh, you got to go down. And
They leave out that important
Good job.
ingredient.
no, yeah. But give an example. You go to the United States. What's one of the restaurants that everybody on the planet has heard of in the United States?
McDonald's.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is good chicken, okay,
Yeah.
but it's not great chicken. Especially if you've got a place in your town like Bees
Or Champies.
or Champies. That's another
Yeah.
decent one. Yeah. But that's my point, is that you got the food that's out there for the tourist, and that's it's like every exit in the United States has a Cracker Barrel.
So you're telling me that the crappy stuff comes from Haggis House, but if you go to McGregor's, you can get the good
Mama
stuff.
McGregor's, yeah.
Mama McGregor.
And don't you know somebody is filing patents and looking for real estate right now?
Mama McGregor's.
Stay out of McGregor's garden too while you're at it.
I'm gonna say, everybody look at Lewis's face. I'm going to say one word, okay, and he's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Lewis, Terrace's.
Terrace's. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Oh no! Oh wait, when did you move to Chattanooga?
91.
You may not have been here for Terrace's.
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh my God! Well, so much for that idea.
Sorry.
You failed, Scarborough.
No, I didn't fail. It's just
No,
he missed an experience. There was this little old Italian couple, the Terraces. They lived up on Ashland Terrace, up in the Hickson area, up near Joe. Joe said he's done.
Joe, if you're not going to be on camera, quit bothering us.
Really, we're trying to run a show here.
We're getting the dings. Vegan
We're not
haggis.
doing it right, though.
Oh my God. I think that's an abomination.
Anyway, this little old Italian couple, they ran the restaurant out of their house.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the whole front
Sounds
of
like
their
my
house.
kind of place.
But the thing, it was one of those things you had to call them to see if they were going to be open that night. Yeah, if they didn't get enough phone calls, she wouldn't fire up the kitchen. She says, I'm not going to fire up that brick oven and grill for nothing. That's
When
Oh,
I was living in Florida and working in Fort Myers, there was in a shady side of town, there was a house with a screened-in porch on the back, and he would sell barbecue out of his house, out of that screened-in porch, and that was one of those things where you couldn't even call. You just had to drive by. If you saw
And you
the
just saw
smoke coming
smoke.
from it, stop in. Yeah. And oh my God, he would smoke meat for 24 hours. It was just fall off the bone. The ribs, you know, you'd get a rack of ribs, and you get back to your car, and it's just bones, and the rest of it's meat laying in the bottom of the plate. I mean, it just all fell off the bone just walking back to your car. Oh,
They hang the rack of ribs on the side of your car, and your car tips over.
I wish. No Bronto burgers.
Oh,
That's overcooked ribs.
No. Oh my God, they were so moist and tender. Oh.
All right. It got turned into House of 1,000 Picture Frames for a while. I don't know what it is now, but let's see here. That is the house up on Ashland Terrace that used to be Terrace's restaurant. And then that was their sign. And then for a while,
you're not showing us anything.
You didn't share it yet.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
That one. All right.
There we go.
Right.
Okay.
That's the house on Ashland Terrace.
Okay. Oh wow.
There's that.
I
There's
think
that
you
bar
showed
down
that
there,
to
the
the
car wash.
Yeah. Mhm.
That lot they can't do anything with. The two guys that are still working. They've been there for like 30 years. You know, the funeral homes down here, and there's the Circle K.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So now I'm oriented. I know where we are.
That's
Okay.
the
I
old
guess I've
Terrace
never
house.
just noticed that house, but
It's when you see the big sign after. That's after the Terraces quit doing the food thing. One of their kids turned it into House of 10,000 Picture Frames, and that's the sign there for House of 10,000 Picture Frames.
okay.
But it used to be the Terraces sign. That, of course, that wasn't there when I was a kid.
That kind of looks like our old shot house we used to go to.
Strangely enough, you see, there's the Terraces.
Yeah.
I used to live.
Within walking distance,
Yeah.
obviously.
Let's see. I used to live right here. Maldeth Street.
That doesn't sound friendly.
I loved putting it on envelopes. I live on Maldeth Street.
Oh,
Teachers at school, what's your address? You know, they give you the form you had to fill out. What's your address? 415 Maldeth Street. Who is this? We have a visitor.
Do we? Oh, yeah. Ace was here a week or so ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Saturday or last Thursday.
Yeah.
I've always liked names like that. If you've got a name like John, which may be the most boring name on the planet. Hey, in fourth grade, the first day of fourth grade, my teacher's biggest problem, Mrs. Neal, her biggest problem was she had 14 kids in her classroom of 32 kids. 14 of them were named John or Johnny.
And all of them are troublemakers.
Pretty much. They had to go in and basically take about half of the kids named John and move them into the other fourth grade classrooms so that she wouldn't have all these confusions.
I've just been calling you by your last names.
That's what my mom does.
All of my teachers called me by my last name, so.
No,
I
had
don't
a
think any of
friend-
my teachers even knew I was in the classroom. This is
John,
just
I had a
book here,
friend
you know.
whose name was Ron Moore, and he would say, "My name is Ron Moore." In the military, it's moron.
there was a comedian named Dick Gold. He used to tell that joke.
Yeah.
He said, of course, in the military, they put your first name last name first. And he says, can you imagine having to live up to it?
I remember Bob Hill telling a joke like that. Evidently, he was English, came across to the U.S., and there was an English tradition, last name first, first name last, and his first name was Leslie instead of Bob. So introduces himself in class as Hope Leslie, and was called hopelessly the rest of his life in school.
And then he just went by Bob Hope.
Yeah. Where everybody knew his name.
Everybody.
We had a high school teacher at Schlarman High School in Danville who called everybody by their last name, but it was either brother or sister. So he'd go up and he'd say, Brother Scarborough, go to the board. There's a big map. He was a world history teacher. Go to the board and find the country of whatever, this little tiny, insignificant, nothing country that you could never find on the map. And he'd give you about 5 seconds to find it, and then he'd tell you to stand up there alongside next to the map, and he'd call somebody else. Sister Jones, go up and find the same country, on and on. One day, he had every single one of us in that class. We had 22 people in that world history class. All went up there, tried to find a country, could not find it, and we're all standing up there. And he comes walking by with his pointer in his hand like he's reviewing the troops, looking at us, not saying a word, shaking his head in disgust. And he goes, I cannot believe that you people could not find this. And he's standing next to the map, and he goes, whap, with the pointer. And he says, what is my pointer on? And I went over there and I looked, and damned if it wasn't the country that he asked each and every one of us to find. And he found it without even looking at it. I mean, he was, Ed Poor was his name. Carl and Donna probably know who he is. And he was a wonderful teacher, World War II veteran. He drove a Jeep over a landmine. And because of that, he has a steel plate in his head, and everybody thought that made him crazy. And that, but he was a great history
I
teacher.
believe he was probably crazy before that.
Only when the radio signals were strong.
The man had a Barcalounger chair in his classroom, and if you got caught sitting in it, it was your butt. But this guy, he would come in, he would have his suit jacket and his tie on backwards, put his glasses on the back of his head, and then walk into the classroom backwards. We were studying the Spanish Inquisition, and he had a little working model of a guillotine that was sitting on his desk. So being the artist that I am, I went and made a little Ed Poor paper doll and stuck his head underneath the guillotine, and then in walks Mr. Poor, and everybody's racing back to their seats, and he comes walking up and he sees that little paper doll that I made under the guillotine, and he says, this could only be the work of one person who is talented enough to do this. And I thought I was headed to the principal's office. I really did. But he actually come up and he put his hand on my shoulder, started squeezing my shoulder, and he goes, good job. And then he turned around and he walked away, and I got off scot-clean. And I'm sure that was his way of telling me, this is your one time that I'm giving this to you, This is your one get out of jail.
Yeah, that squeeze had a lot of meaning in it, I'll bet.
Oh my Lord.
Kind of like he puts his hand on your shoulder and squeezes your shoulder as if to say, been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
And you go with a dislocated shoulder,
At least he didn't get the paddle out.
Oh man.
Oh, we had a few of those.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a drill? Does anybody have a drill? I need to put some more air holes in my paddle.
Aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Yep.
My football coach, he was happy with his paddle. Unfortunately, we made it for him. So
Shop class. That's like
Yeah.
every kid in shop class made some teacher a paddle.
Yep.
It was like a competition. It was like a competition to see who'd come up with the most lethal paddle.
And it was always the shop teacher that was missing 3 fingers. That
Three
had the
fingers?
best design work. Yeah.
And
Three
if you had holes drilled in the paddle, don't bother sanding down the splinters from the holes.
no, that's good.
I got $1 million question right now.
Go ahead,
Oh,
$1 million question.
Where is Joe?
He
Migraine.
has migraine.
Okay.
He's
actually
been bothering
working.
us from afar after he said, I'm not going to be able to do this tonight. So he was backseat coaching for a while.
Ah, gotcha. Well, Joe, if you're still watching, I hope you get to feeling better, buddy. I love you.
How are you doing, Skunk?
Oh, I shall return.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, well, it'll be unexpected.
All right.
So
Well,
how
to
are you
answer your
doing?
question, John, I'm still.
Yeah. It's
I can lip read, Skunk.
31 cents in my bank account. 31 cents. I don't even have $1 to my name right now.
Kick them to the curb, Skunk.
His dad already told me that if I kick him out, he ain't coming home.
time to start looking for a replacement.
Or no, three months. 3 months. I said October. I'm being honest. I said October. He's got 3 months. Anyway, outside of that, I don't know. Work was decent today, except for one thing.
Is
What
your
was
work
training?
getting better?
Huh?
What were you training for?
Training. I was wrestling.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I went to wrestling training. We work out every week. No, work was fine except for one thing that happened today. Right. And if y'all don't know me at all, or John's the closest person to knowing me here because I've actually met him in person. I drive for a living, right? Despite appearances, I'm actually a really good and safe driver.
Very safe driver. Excellent driver.
I'm not going to say I've never been pulled over. I have. I've been pulled over plenty of times. Been pulled over. But it's rare when it happens. It's usually for something innocuous. Oftentimes it's just because I wasn't paying attention to something or whatnot. It's never a big deal, right? It's never like I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, I got pulled over doing 120 on the interstate, sort of thing. I've only been in like one accident. That was my fault. The other vehicle wasn't even damaged. And that was because I was overworking myself at the time. Different company, not this one. And I literally haven't been pulled over for speeding. I haven't been pulled over for speeding in like, God, I can't even tell you the last time I got pulled over for speeding. I have no idea when it was because it's that long ago, right? So I'm on this highway. I'm on Highway 68. It runs, but I don't know where it starts or where it ends. I do know it goes from the city that I go to first, which is this place called Etowah. It starts in Etowah, and it goes up forever. I don't know where it ends. I know where I stopped going on it is Vonore. So I try to go from Etowah to Vonore, right? And then I turn around and come back down. Or it's not 68. It's I turn off of this road to go to 68. I think it's 11. I don't know. Point is, it's a big 5-lane highway, right? You got the 2 lanes northbound, 2 lanes southbound, and then you got the middle turning lane. And it's like that from Etowah all the way to Von Orr. This never changes, right? So this is a big road, and there's nothing until you get to, there's like 2 cities that have anything going on in them. That's more than like a gas station and a Dollar General, right? From between Von Orr and Etowah, right? There's Madisonville, I think it's called, and Sloan, I think is the other one. This is the only 2. The area I was driving through was Inglewood. There's nothing there. You have to turn off of this road to get into the quote unquote downtown area of Inglewood. And to say that this place is a 1-horse town would be an insult to the horse. It's like literally this place looks like Mayberry.
Skunk.
There's the city hall, and right next to the city hall is the police station, and right next to the police station is the fire station, and right next to that's the post office. It's all in a row, and this is not on the main road. This is you have to turn off of the main road, go down like 2 streets over, and then you're in the city of Inglewood. So I'm on this road now. I'm doing 55 miles an hour. 55 miles an hour. It's pretty much 55 miles an hour from Etowah all the way to Von Orr. Even in that one little city area that's Madisonville or whatever, Sloan, whatever it's called, where there's a Walmart and stuff, even then, I think it only drops down to like 45 right there, and nobody does 45. Everybody's still doing 55. Nobody cares. So because it's a long highway. It's not an interstate. The interstate you can do 70. This is just a long highway between. So I'm going, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden I hear a siren. Looking around. I'm trying to stay out of the way of any emergency vehicles. So I finally see this cop, and he pulls out, and he's going. So this cop is going down the road, and I'm like, he's not going very fast. This guy's blue lights on. You know, he's obviously not in a super hurry. I don't know. I think he's probably about to turn around. Like he had to get out of where he was, find a safe place to turn around and go back the other way or something. Or maybe he's looking to turn somewhere else up here. I don't think he's coming after me because, again, I don't think I'm breaking the rules. So I'm just driving. Then he's still coming and thinking, okay, I guess he's going to pass. So I get over to let him over. And so when I get over, I just merge over. There's another vehicle there doing the same speed as me. I get over in front of this guy. He's right behind me. I'm driving, and the cop pulls up behind him. Well, that's odd. Why doesn't the cop? We're at a red light. Why isn't the cop going around us? Right? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, why isn't the guy behind me pulling over? That's what I'd like to know. It's right there. I'm sitting there thinking, is he about to pull me over? Oh, light turns green. I just go. But the guy behind me, he turns. There's the officer. He pulls up. I'm like, he is pulling me. What the fuck is he pulling me over? And I'm thinking, I've got to have like a tail light out or something. It's got to be something really stupid. There's no way this guy is pulling me over for anything else. I pull over. I find a little safe spot over here by the Dollar General, and I stop. And this is how I know, and I want to point this out very clearly. This is how I know this guy was not paying attention at all. He's not paying attention. This is a trumped up BS charge, 100%. Comes up to the vehicle. He goes, "How you fellas doing?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "How you felt?" And he looks and he goes, "Oh, I thought there were 2 of you." Okay, what can I help you with? Like, I'm confused now. I'm like, what's your deal? Right? And he says, then he clocked me doing 55 miles an hour. Yeah. Because the speed limit through here is 40. And I'm looking around. There's literally a Dollar General and 2 fields. Like, why is it 40 miles? There's nothing here. Right? And I'm confused because I did not see. I've been on this road how many times now doing this route, I've never seen a sign that says 40 miles an hour. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I've never seen it. And all the vehicles on this road are doing 55 miles an hour. So what the hell is he talking about? So I just said, I'm being honest with the guy. It's like, pretty sure it's 55 all the way until you get to Madisonville. He goes, no, City of Inglewood, it's 40 miles an hour. And I'm saying, City of Inglewood. City of Inglewood's way, way, way back there. Like, we are nowhere near the City of Inglewood. I don't know where he thinks he is. I passed the City of Inglewood like 15 minutes ago. It's not, no, I'm about to enter Madisonville. He's in the wrong town. But I don't say that because I'm trying to be polite. Okay, last thing I need during my work day is to get Rodney King. So I'm sitting there being like, all right, well, you know, he asked for the license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm like, here's the license. And this is a company, I explained to the dude, this is a company vehicle. Right? I don't know where they keep the paperwork in every vehicle. So give me a second. And I open up the glove compartment. I pull out this bag that has a bunch of stuff in it. I'm checking to see if it's in there. And as I'm pulling, he goes, oh, that's the registration right there. And I said, no, I don't. This is not the current registration. He goes, well, I'll take that. What are you up? I'm sitting there thinking, what are you up to? Right?
He just needs the numbers.
The current registration. Why are you taking the registration that isn't current? So I said, okay, well, I'm going to keep looking for the regular registration. Here's that. Here's the insurance card. I believe that this insurance, even though this isn't this insurance card is showing is expired, I'm pretty sure our insurance is still current. I don't know where the insurance card for this van is. Because I wasn't driving this van when we got the new insurance cards. They might have misplaced it or something. I can get a new one later. If I have to go to court for that, whatever. I don't give a shit. Right? And I hand him my license. So he goes back. And there was the other thing, too. When he pulled me over, he sat there for like 10 minutes and didn't get out of his. What are you doing? Right? You pulled me over. Like, get out of your car. So then he goes back and he sits there. And I'm sitting there, whatever. Like, I'm just sip on my Mountain Dew. I don't know. He's pulling me over for 15 over the speed limit. What the fuck? I don't understand. Like, why is this is not that big of a deal? Why is this guy making it into that big of a deal? There's no cars, you know. It's 11 a.m. There's no one around, right? The only other vehicles that were on the road were doing the same speed that I was doing. So why did he single me out? I don't understand this. And why is he acting so weird? That's another thing. This guy was acting really strange. So he finally comes back up, and this is where it gets even weirder. Comes back up. He says, well, and I'm sitting there, by the way, when he walks back up, I'm holding the registration, the current registration for the van in my hand. Like, just give me a second. I would have found it. So I hand that to him. Like, here's current registration for the van. He goes, oh, okay, well, I wasn't going to give you a ticket for the expired registration. I said, it just literally, no, look at what I just handed you. And he goes, oh, you do have current registration. And I'm like, I wanted to ask him, like, are you stoned? Are you stoned on the job? Because there's no explanation right now that I can have for why this officer's acting so freaking weird unless he's inebriated, right? So then he proceeds, he says, I have to give you a ticket for the speeding. And he claims, now I didn't look this up. Lewis, if you know anything about this, let me know. He claims that they're having a crackdown on speeders in the town of Inglewood because yesterday there was a motorcycle accident, killed a guy.
I don't know of that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have to go to
that
this
would
town.
probably be in the Daily Post Athenian. Let me look that up real quick.
I drive through that town 2 times a day. Think I would have heard something about it. I stopped at the gas station in Inglewood yesterday, too, to buy sodas. Nobody said anything about a motorcycle accident.
June 17th, 2020, a 16-year-old motorcyclist was killed in a crash with an SUV in Inglewood.
That was a month ago.
I was going to say too.
2020. Yeah.
You got to think.
Wait, did you say 2020?
2020. Yep.
That's over a year ago.
Yep.
This guy said yesterday.
I was going to say also, you got to think, just because you might not be in the city of Inglewood, police jurisdiction goes outside the city.
That's true, but I mean, we're pretty much entering Madisonville at that point, or Sloan, or whatever the name of that.
So
town is.
this guy has Alzheimer's and is remembering a crash from like a year ago.
Yeah, sounds like it. Unless Lewis brings up
As
something
far as jurisdiction goes, if you were speeding in the city limits of Englewood, he can follow you out of the city of Englewood, but not out of, I guess it's McMinn County.
Can't go into another county.
He has to stay within his county, because city police officers hold a county commission, whereas county officers hold a state commission. Now, if it was a McMinn County deputy and you sped in McMinn County, he could chase you all over the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, he could chase all over state. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was in
Georgia.
City officers can't leave their counties, because that's where they get their authority from.
Okay. This shit is why I want a flying car.
Yes.
Tries to pull you over, you just do this and hover up. You know.
Yeah, once you reach airspace, restricted airspace, they can't follow you.
Well, actually, now wait a minute. Airspace, like if there's a town, the airspace goes up above the town. So
yes, but there's different levels. You want to climb to Class D airspace, you're safe there.
I was about to say the FAA can't mess with you.
Well, the FAA's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
They're trying to fuck around with Jeff Bezos and his permit to fly next week.
I can't believe they're messing with him and didn't do. Well, I don't know all the hoops Brunson went through, but
you're also screwing with Elon Musk about his launch tower.
Yeah,
I don't know. But,
yeah. Well, like I was saying, so this gets weirder from there, though, because then he has me sign the ticket. The ticket, by the way, is like an 8.5 by 11 triplicate. This thing's huge. I've never seen one this big before. He's got a gigantic like.
Well, they all do it on computer now. They all do it in computer now. There's no such thing as a ticket book anymore.
No, but that's this really what this was though. I mean, it's like it was the whole form and everything, filled everything out, you know. And
it had the big metal clipboard.
Yeah, it had a big metal clipboard that went along with it and everything. And he said there. Fills this thing out, right, 100%. And I'm okay, you know, whatever. And I was thinking, whatever. I haven't been pulled over in so freaking long. I haven't been pulled over for and given a ticket in so long. I don't even remember. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna pay this and be done with it, right? Like, cause I'm not even. I think the last time that I actually did get pulled over and got a ticket. Like an actual ticket, I had to go to court or pay it or whatever. I had a seatbelt violation back when I worked for CoinMock. Like I believe that was the last time. I've been pulled over since then for a cracked windshield, but that I didn't get a ticket. I got a warning, and I wasn't in that vehicle today, obviously, because I was in my work van. So I'm sitting there. He has me sign it, of course, and I sign it. I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna freaking pay it tomorrow anyway. He hands me the thing, and he hands me the paperwork. And this is how you pay if you want to pay it. This is where your court is. Blah 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 blah. He hands me everything going on. And I'm sitting there just being like, "You gotta be kidding me!" For this is not. I wasn't doing 110. I wasn't in a hot rod. I'm in a freaking work van. I'm just trying to get to my next location. Like, get off my back. He pulls away. I pull away. I'm driving down the road. I look over at the ticket. He hands me. It's triplicate: white, yellow, pink. Right? He hands me the pink copy. That's my copy. I'm guessing the yellow copy is his copy. The white copy goes to the office or whatever, right? I have no idea. I just know that's, it's a triplicate form, obviously. He handed me the pink copy. It's blank. It's completely blank. The only thing that's written on this is the court date. There's no other information. And I jumped on Reddit and I'm like, what the hell do I do about this? This is obviously not my ticket. He grabbed the wrong form. How the hell am I supposed to pay this if I don't even know my citation number? And of course, Reddit, they're like, I just have to call the court clerk in a few days when they enter it into the system or whatever. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I just want to get this over and done with. I don't have to wait a few days. And then this was the icing on the cake. I read the little fine print on the sheet down at the bottom on the form on how to pay. Guess how much my fine is going to end up being? $225.
Oh, that's cheap compared to Alabama.
Hold up. I want to point out something real quick. Years and years and years and years and years ago, this is back when I was young and stupid. I got pulled over in Athens, Alabama, doing 91, and that cost me $180.
I'm about to say that had. I don't know how old you are, but that had to be like 90s, early 90s.
This was 21, so it was like 2007.
Well, it does go by county,
Yeah,
ticket wise, but
it's still it's just I'm looking at that going like for 15 over $225. That seems excessive to me, honestly, especially because you consider the time of day and everything else. There's nothing going. This is a small town. There's nothing going on here.
Yeah,
right?
depends on how much the town depends on that for income.
That's what I'm thinking, Lewis. I'm thinking these people are grifters, and they're just looking for anybody they can pull over for any stupid reason to be able to get their income.
Back in the old days, we used to call this a speed trap.
Speed trap. Yeah.
Which is okay. Think about it. It's a 55-mile-an-hour road, but once you get to the town, it drops to 40, which, strangely enough, is 15 miles an hour, which makes it. What's the term they use? Reckless
driving. Reckless driving.
Yeah, I thought reckless was
why
anything
you get a
over 20, but
$200 ticket.
Yeah,
Which is
reckless
why
driving.
they have the sign there somewhere. There's a sign hidden somewhere in that town that says 50 miles per hour.
Yep.
It's behind the sign that says boiled peanuts or some shit like that.
Oh hell yeah!
More than likely behind a tree that hasn't been trimmed in
bush or
30
something.
years.
Yeah.
The town I live in. I live out in the boonies, but it's 55 all the way down through here. 1,500 people live in this little town. But there's a mile stretch of road. It drops to 35 miles an hour.
Yep.
They're going to get you.
And you got one stop sign.
Yeah.
It's not even a stop sign.
Don't even
Not
have
even a stop sign.
Because usually that's the excuse that they use, because a lot of these speed traps have been challenged in court, and they've won because the town just put up about a 4-block area where the speed limit was 35 miles an hour, and the judge found that there was no reason to go down that slow. So they found out that they had to put a stop sign on that main road so that they could say, well, we've got to get them to slow down to at least 35 miles an hour so that they won't have to hit the brakes and skid for a block when they see that surprise stop sign.
When I was stationed up at Fort Knox, Kentucky, as you're going up from Fort Knox to Louisville, there's this little town called, was it West Point? And West Point, has two traffic lights. And as you come over the top of the railroad bridge into the town, that's where the speed limit drops to 35 miles an hour for the traffic lights. And as you come over the top of the bridge where that traffic light is, they've actually got a parking space reserved for the police car. It says no parking except for police vehicles only. That town literally paid for every government building, every city building in that town off of the United States Army.
Wow.
There's this one stretch, there's a traffic light here where you come over the railroad bridge, and there's another traffic light over here where you go out of town. And that's all they do is sit there all day and run that damn speed trap. And it's like part of the briefing at Fort Knox when you first arrive there and you go for your briefing. Okay, you got to watch out for the town of West Point, and they've got that's what's funny is they've got this fat ass cop's picture in the briefing standing next to his police car. And he got this kind of Kentucky look to him. And I can't remember the guy's name, but he just had one of those typical Kentucky names. Officer Vernon McCoy.
You was talking about
flashlight. You better pull over.
You was talking about Lewis. You was talking about the stop signs.
Yeah.
Our town is not incorporated or anything like that. We do have caution signals. That's all we have. It's like a four-way, but it's caution lights. So
Mhm.
that's what it goes down to when the speed limit drops.
Yeah.
I ran
Well,
into
John,
one
every
of
Army
those.
base has one of those towns. At Fort Polk in Louisiana, it was Leesville. Leesville was the first little town right outside of the post.
I'm trying to remember the one at Fort Benning,
Mm.
and I want to say
Wait, Fort Benning is
Columbus, but
Columbus.
there's
There's also across in Alabama.
Alabama that's Athens. That's going toward Athens,
Phoenix.
Alabama. Yeah, it's Phoenix City.
Alabama.
Yeah, Phoenix City.
Yeah, Phoenix City, Alabama. That's a speed trap too.
I ran into one of
There's
those.
people trying to leave from Columbus to get to New Orleans.
Yep.
Or at least Mobile.
I ran into one of those
Victory
north
Drive.
of Albuquerque. We were on our way up to a little podunk town to visit somebody, and we had to drive several hours up north of Albuquerque. And the speed limit on that road is 75 miles an hour, except for one little bit where it drops to 35. And the only thing that is there is an antique store and 3 houses. That's it. You can see, I mean, it's literally flat as a pancake through there. You can see for 80 freaking miles. And you go up that, they've got the signs, reduce speed ahead several before you get there. So I slowed down, and I slowed down. We got up to the antique store and was doing 35, and it's literally the entire stretch at 35 miles an hour is less than 100 yards long. And I got out the other side, went right back up to 75 mile an hour speed limit signs. I went right back on up, and I'm going, that's got to be somebody's little cash cow there. Either that or whoever owns the antique store has enough pull with the county to get the speed limit reduced so people don't fly by. And it would actually pull in and stop and shop at the antique store. I mean, there wasn't a cop involved or anything. I didn't get pulled over. It's just I could not for the life of me think of why one store that didn't sell anything but junk and 3 residences needed a 35, and it's a straight stretch of road in the middle of a 75 mile an hour superhighway.
One day I'll go live and just walk a couple of miles down this straight way. It's just perfectly straight, so they can nail you. I mean, it ought to be like 75 down through here, but it never will be. But Skunk, you was talking about how much that ticket was. It was about 2 years ago. We was downtown in the city eating, me and my wife, and she parked in a spot. They called it illegal parking. There was no dumpster in front of her. It did not say do not park here or anything like that. Ticket was $329.
Ooh.
You got
No,
the
I got
mayor's
pulled over.
parking spot.
Yeah, must have. I'm not gonna get on politics. So,
But like I said, the last time I remember even having to pay a ticket, do anything like that on anything after that, like I said, it was years ago. Back when I worked for CoinMock, I got pulled over once for a seatbelt. I had literally just woken up. I'd gotten into the van for the day. All I was doing was driving to a gas station to get gas, and then I was going to leave on my trip, and I forgot to put my belt on. It happens. I usually have my seatbelt on. This morning I just was out of it and forgot to put it on. I got pulled over by Collegedale police, and they pulled me over, and they said, "Yeah, you don't have your license, or you don't have your seatbelt on." They asked for license, registration, van, and everything, and they told them they were like, "Yeah, so we're gonna give you a ticket for the seatbelt." Like That sucks. How much is it? They're like $10.
Yeah, I was about to say I can remember when it was $10. It's 50. It's $50 now for the first one.
This place, this city, Inglewood, which that Ottawa / Collegedale in our area, Lewis will tell you, they have a reputation. You don't want to get pulled over there because they're gonna nickel and dime you. They've thrown people in jail for 30 days for speeding before through their town. Like they don't play there. But $10 for seatbelt violation. Let me tell you about the city of Inglewood. You know how much it's going to cost you if you get pulled over for a seatbelt violation there? It's $180. No, they're grifting. That's what they're doing. They're setting up all these speed traps and have all these cops out there. For such a small town, they've got a police force that rivals city of Chattanooga. They've got like 40 cop cars out there next to their little tiny Mayberry police station. I'm telling you, this police station's like 4 rooms big. They don't even have it. I cannot imagine that they have enough room in there to have a proper jail. It's one holding cell with a cot. That's all they can afford in that space. It's the tiniest little police station I've ever seen in my life outside of, like I said, Mayberry. That's what it reminds me of. I'm pretty sure the sheriff's department or the sheriff's office in Blazing Saddles was bigger than this place. You know, it at least had more than one cell. This place is tiny. Why, when you go, because like I said, there's the police station, there's a little space, and then there's the post office. The little space between the police station and the post office, like 40 cop cars out there. They don't even have that many cops. How could they? I know how they could. They could afford to pay them all.
They got to make
it over like this.
They got to hit that quota every month, man.
Yeah. There used to be one north of Athens on the way to I-85, so you could take a left and go towards Atlanta. A little town called Arcade. It's like
that's on the other side of the Grange there.
Well, no, this one is up north of Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
And it's got like 3 liquor stores and about 17 houses and about 12 cop cars, and the speed limit just drops dramatically as you would enter into this little borough. And God help you if you went to the wrong liquor store. No, seriously. There was one that was approved by the city government, and the other 2 were trying to be closed down, and one of those was owned by somebody that they thought was undesirable. And in the South, you pretty much can figure that code out real well. Anyway, the state of Georgia got so disgusted at all the reports of the speed traps and all the unnecessary tickets, they widened the road. And when they did, they made a bypass all around Arcade about 5 miles away, outside of the local cops' jurisdiction, so they couldn't even hang out on the bypass and try and get you. But still, God help you if you went to the wrong damn liquor store.
Let me tell you though, let me tell you about a little city called Cohutta.
All right, Bill.
Cohutta, Georgia. Right? Lewis knows where I'm talking about. Cohutta, Georgia. Remember how I said earlier with Inglewood that call it a 1-horse town would be an insult to the horse? Right, Cohutta. That was being mean. I was being mean to them. Cohutta is definitely not a 1-horse town. Cohutta is several horses, but it is a rural city in Georgia. There is no business in the city of Cohutta that isn't a family-owned establishment. There's no chains there whatsoever. This in other areas, in your area of the country, in Alabama, Josh, this would be considered an unincorporated place. But in Georgia, they don't have those. Or at least I don't think they do. I've never seen one. I've seen them in Tennessee. I've seen them in Alabama. Never seen them in Georgia. And that's how small this town would be, right? They have 2 cops. It's Mayberry. They do. They have the police chief and they have his assistant. And that's it, right? They have 2 police vehicles. That's it. They have a squad car. They have an SUV. That's it. They don't have anything else in this town. They have an elementary school. They've got a small restaurant, a gas station, and like a thrift store. That's it. That's all that's there. And the rest of it's just people that live there. It's a nice little town, right? I think those cops are sleeping on the job because county's always down there like arresting people for meth and shit. But it's rural Georgia. What are you gonna do?
Well, I was going to say, like where I live, the county, the sheriff's department, Tuscaloosa Sheriff's Department. That's who take cares of this down here. So,
but I mean, that's the thing. Is it's like this town, right? I'll give Inglewood the benefit of the doubt here and point out that, like, yeah, they have a Shell station, they have a Dollar Tree, they have a Dollar General, like they actually have visit, but that's not much bigger. They don't need that many cop cars. They're like I said,
hire the handicap to work for the police force.
They have I really do feel this. Like I really do feel they're just running a scam up there. So here's my plan. Here's my plan, guys. And I've really thought about this. I sincerely thought about this. I'm not kidding. There's a road that allows me to bypass Inglewood entirely.
There you go.
A little bit out of my way.
Take it. Yeah.
It's the county speed trap.
It's 5 minutes. It's 5 extra minutes, right? But if I go this way, right, I completely bypass Inglewood until I'm on the way back, right? Or 4 minutes, rather, 4 minutes, because basically I just take this 461, which is a county road. Take County Road 461 to 68. Take that up. I'm in Madisonville, and it's back to 55 miles an hour. I don't care anymore after that. I bypass Inglewood entirely. I never have to be anywhere near there. I never have to deal with any of their BS. On the way back, I'm going through Inglewood, but then I have to slow down anyway because I have to make that turn. Because I have to turn to Athens Pike and take that over to the Food City. So there you go. I think that's just what I'm going to do from now on.
Quick question there, Skunk. I don't know. I know you drive trucks. What kind of trucks you drive?
It's a high top van.
A CDL?
No.
Okay. Well, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
It's not a box truck or anything.
Yeah, you be good.
No, I'm just gonna pay that. I was just gonna. Yeah.
I was talking about like hitting that bypass. You wouldn't have to hit no waste. Stand on way station. Yeah.
Way stations. No. Yeah. No, his van is way too small for way stations to pay any attention.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about the stage or anybody like that.
I've wondered if I was ever one of these days gonna get when I was on the route that went down south of Dalton. I was wondering if Department of Transportation was ever going to pull me over for something. They pull everybody else over.
Well, I was about to say DOT can always pull you over.
I would go down through there all the time, and I'd be all like, "How did DOT 9 times out of 10 would have a semi truck pulled over?" It was always that 10th time that I'd see it. It's like just a guy in a pickup. It's a commercial vehicle, so they pulled him over. I was always wondering if DOT was ever going to pull me over for something. They never did, because again, whatever. Am I going to sit here and say that I don't speed? Absolutely not. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Yeah, I do, but it's not obnoxious. And if I'm on a side street like that, on even though it was a highway, no, I'm going to do the speed limit, because what's the point of me speeding? There's going to be another red light in a minute.
Yeah, really.
So that's the part I didn't understand with this guy. I was completely. That was the other thing too. Completely honest with the guy. Most of the, I've noticed this. If you're completely honest with a cop, tell him, like, no, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I was totally going 55 miles an hour. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be all like, oh, my speedometer was off, or
oversized tires.
I have to
exactly. Wrong size tire. That'd be your best.
I got pulled over leaving LibertyCon one year. It was when I had I had pulled over. I had just replaced my my old GPS because it was so old it would no longer accept updates. Got a brand new one, but it was the new one and the old one were incompatible, so the company couldn't transfer the map memories over from one to the other. So I had to have the new one, which would just go, oh, well, hit this teach button, and as you drive the route, I will remember it. So I had the old one sitting there so I would know the route, and the new one sitting there learning the route, and I had the backup camera, which I always kept on because it eliminates a blind spot from my rearview mirrors. And pulled out from the hotel, got on the highway. I think it was 24. I hadn't
75, but yeah.
No, I hadn't even. Well, might have just got to 75. But the speed limit.
Liberty Common, it was in Eastridge, or Liberty Common, it was in downtown Chattanooga.
Downtown Chattanooga.
Oh, Dad, you were on 24.
Yeah. So I pull out. I get up there. I haven't passed anybody. I'm just with traffic. I haven't even gotten up to the speed limit yet. All of a sudden, blue lights in the rear view, and pull over. And the guy walks up, wants to see the license and registration. Looks real suspiciously at the two GPSs in the rear view, in the backup camera on my dash. And I've got the extra fog lights on the rail that I made on the luggage rack on the van, and one of those fog lights is actually a camera for going forward. And I thought that would be a good idea because it's got infrared. Maybe I can see some deer or something on my way home from work at night. But anyway, I'm thinking this guy just saw all the lights and the CB antenna and all the stuff on the dash. And he thought, oh, wow, we have just gotten this. You can't use a cell phone in your hand while you're driving. I've got one. He walks up. Neither one of us has got the cell phone out. And he claims I'm doing 95 miles an hour. And I'm going, I haven't even got up to 60 yet. But I don't give him any argument, hand over the paperwork. He goes back, checks everything out. And I seriously believe all he wanted to do was find out why I had so many fog lights and so many displays on the dashboard. And he had to make up that I was doing over the speed limit when I hadn't even got to the speed limit yet. Anyway, he just said, well, I'll give you a verbal warning this time. You slow this thing down. I'm going, sure. Thank you. And my wife just looks at me, and she's rather timid around authority figures. But she's going, I'm glad you didn't argue with him. I go, what was there to argue about? He was wrong. I wasn't about to tell him he was.
I highly recommend that everyone get a dashboard camera for their vehicle just for this sort of crap.
Well,
got one in my wife's car.
Because police officers are notorious for wearing body cameras and dashboard cameras that don't seem to work when they go into the courtroom.
Yep. Well, that's 90% of the time they won't show up here when they do that crap. So
I kind of wondered that if the fact that his blue lights were showing up in my rear view, my backup camera on my dashboard, and if he didn't think he was being recorded while he was pulling us over, and there was no way that he was going to be able to eliminate whatever recording we might be making. And I don't have a recorder hooked up to the backup camera. All I do is I use it for, like I said, an additional rear view mirror, because by the time somebody comes past me and they're in my blind spot, they're still in that camera. And by the time they get out of view of the camera, I can see them out of the corner of my eye. The blind spot's gone. I love that. I've really got to rewire that sucker because it stopped working because I went and get an oil change, and they were so nice. They vacuumed out the car, and the CB radio and the backup camera and a couple of other things that are wired in the same circuit no longer work. And I'm going, oh, great. They shorted something out here. Now I've got to pull all these wires out and check and see which one's gone. Anyway, I will have to get that backup camera working again before we go to LibertyCon next year, or HallowCon this year. I should have money to get the hotel room here in about 2 weeks, and get the memberships and everything.
All right. I'm going to throw something up here, just real quick.
I
Lewis,
wish you'd rephrase that.
I want to see your commentary on this. Meanwhile, driving in Georgia, the dump truck semi that was going down the road.
What the? Oh, I
Hit-
seen
That's
that.
the one that, knocked the bridge 6
hit
feet
the
out.
bridge
Oh.
and knocked it 6 feet off the bearing, messed up the center support over the freeway. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this road, this is between Athens and Savannah, Georgia. Okay. It is the loneliest stretch of road you have ever driven on in your life. There's like between Athens and Savannah for like 3 hours. There's absolutely nothing on this road.
Oh,
You
like
will-
Nashville to Memphis.
You will fall asleep.
I
Now,
used to have to drive down this in a dump truck for the National Guard going to Fort Stewart. And the only reason I got stuck driving I was not the regular dump truck operator. The only reason I got stuck driving it is because no one else wanted to be stuck in a dump truck going down this road in the middle of July. It's because the National Guard convoy had a 45-mile-an-hour top speed.
And no AC.
And no AC. Well, the AC was the windows popped up on the front of the hood.
Yeah, 245 AC.
Yeah,
45 AC.
45 degrees.
Now, I have seen somebody pointed out, what the hell was he doing driving down the highway with the dump up?
I'm sure you'll have to ask him.
I would love to see there's got to be some dash cam footage out there somewhere.
Somebody had to have witnessed this, but I mean, did he hit the levers and not know the dump had extended, or what?
But John, can you imagine the recoil when he hit that bridge hard enough to move it 6 feet? What that must have felt like in the cab of that truck.
Well, the thing is,
like a steering
because
wheel.
he hit and then he got jacked up.
It was a tractor trailer dump truck. Okay, when he hit that, the tractor kept going. The trailer moved the bridge.
It's straight bowed that thing. So
There had to be some inertia.
Well, John, showing the other angle from that top road.
Yeah,
because it literally moved the entire roadway.
Yeah,
6
I
feet.
gotta find it. I gotta go to. I gotta go to stupid o'clock and find my.
Well, I was gonna say it's been about 7 years back. There was a 18-wheeler, and I don't know how or what he was doing, but it was going down the interstate down here. The exit right before you get off to mine, 77, 76, whatever it is. It was going under the overpass. None of the 18-wheelers have ever had a problem, but that one did for some reason, and it was one of them that pulls 2 tractor trailers, and smacked. It just smacked it, and unfortunately, it killed the driver. It caught on flames and everything. It moved it like 2 foot. And they had to replace the whole bridge, that whole overpass and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's these guys down here. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can zoom in on it.
No,
It's these guys down here, because if you look at it, that whole center support
Yeah, it's bent. It's
Yeah.
bent.
Oh
It
yeah.
moved that way
Yeah.
down the interstate when he
If I
hit
say
that.
yeah, it's leaning to the right.
And he broke all 6 bearings, or I'm sorry, 5 bearings. He broke all 5 bearings up here and knocked the concrete cover off the end of it.
Wow.
See, let me
He
find it.
had to been hauling ass.
Yeah, I was about to say he had to be
There's the
getting.
there's you can see this concrete support here.
Yeah.
There's the other
Yeah.
one on the other side.
Wow.
And then that gives you an idea
Yeah.
about
Look how
Yeah.
far the center line got shifted.
Yep.
And obviously it's empty because it was all the way
Oh,
up.
go back.
it had a bunch of tires in it, like
Go-
construction
go-
vehicle
Go
tires.
back to the bottom left picture again.
That one?
Yeah, and look how far
Is
the truck ate into the roadway.
oh
About
yeah.
a foot or more. Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
went
just
through
right.
the,
I think
uh,
it's
through
just
the
wrapped into
barricade,
the. I think it's
into
just
the
wrapped
roadway.
into the side bit there.
Well, I was about to say that would be pretty much on the center line too.
Yeah, he pretty much eat a chunk out of the guardrail there as well as moving the rest of it. He must have been just mortally flying.
Yeah, and Tuscaloosa just thought it'd be good to put a suspension bridge up on the interstate. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Mhm. Goodness gracious. Oh, yeah, that's a good question, Carl.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, John
I
already said
I think it literally just yanked the trailer off of his 5th wheel, and he just kept going down the road because you didn't even see the tractor. The tractor.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't even parked on the side of the road.
well, hell, if I'd done that, I wouldn't have stopped.
no, I'd have drove a couple miles and got out and walked.
I mean, there's no way you could keep from getting caught because the trailer is registered to your truck. But
Yeah.
911. I'd like to report a stolen truck.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
yeah, it would be suspicious the call happened after the accident.
These kids that were up on the overpass there reached down and grabbed my trailer.
They were throwing rocks at me out there.
Yeah.
I stopped at a Chick-fil-A on the side of the road, and then my truck disappeared while I was in the restroom. And yeah, what are you doing in the next freaking state
sir,
over?
Sir, we'd like to ask you one question. Why did you call from a payphone that was actually past the accident site and not before the accident site?
Oh God!
I like eggs. You know.
Oh,
Since we're well, everybody but Bill. Sorry, Bill. All of y'all from the South. I'm having a terrible problem with these. Sorry for the language. Damn millipedes, milliworms. They're inch long. Are there any way to get rid of these things?
Is that the ones that make the big nest cocoon up in the tree and then they're everywhere?
They're about, well, here. I don't know if y'all can see that.
are you talking about army worms?
That looks like an earwig. Sure, it's not an
Bring it up
earwig.
again, Josh. Okay, hang on.
Show us again.
Check your beard, Josh.
I don't know.
John,
I'm like 90% certain that's a roach.
yeah.
That is
Well, no,
not
it's one of those. It's one of those multi-leg things. with
It's
like-
a caterpillar thing.
I think we call them. I think we call. Is that silverfish?
Is it a silverfish?
Well,
might be.
silverfish is another name for earwig.
Yeah.
But earwigs have big pinchers on their tail.
One. Oh, who is it?
I know it stings if you step on it. I just know that.
Ortho makes a spray pesticide you can spray around your house. Pretty safe.
Yeah.
Home defense.
And then the other thing you can do, glue traps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say I've got some glue traps. I need to get some more put out.
Double-sided carpet tape.
Yep. Hey,
You can
I'll call.
tell who's a redneck around here.
Hey,
Yeah, that's good for catching Josh.
well, no, I'll call some.
Damn.
I'll call some snakes and that. Not me,
Now,
but
if you take the really cheap, find the really cheap duct tape, like the stuff you get at Dollar General store, and basically fold it back over itself so that there's glue on both sides, and put it on a piece of cardboard. You can make your own glue trap.
yeah. Well, I used to do work at exterminating place, so we used to come up with all kinds of tricks. So
And then Josh's wife's going to come home.
One
and
of those
throw
5-gallon
3 times.
pump sprayers and 5 gallons of kerosene and a cigarette lighter. You got a pretty good way to clear a path around the house so you don't see them come in.
Another thing you can do, they're probably under your house.
Yeah,
well,
most likely, yeah.
Well, I was about to say, with all this rain this year, they're just starting to come out because I've had 3 days straight of heat. I mean, just dry weather. So,
If you can find it, go to the hardware store in the gardening section, and you're looking for diatomatic soil.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And what it basically is, it's powdered coral.
okay.
Perfectly safe. I mean, you could eat the stuff if you're just that stupid. But
Yeah. And what it does
there are
is it
people that are.
dehydrates anything that touches it.
it soaks
Okay.
up water, and because bugs breathe through pores in their
Yeah.
skin, it gets in those pores
Just
and then sucks all the water out of them.
right.
It's made of diatoms.
Yeah, basically, kind of like borax does to
Well, no,
ants.
Exactly.
this is more of a, like John
More-
said, it's coral
Yeah.
basically.
More eco-friendly.
Diatomaceous earth, is that not right?
Yeah. Diatomaceous earth is the correct pronunciation of it. And
Bill, you just send me that. Message later because I can't spell it. So
Yeah, it's what I'm working on right now. I can't remember how to.
Oh, well, I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell no damn way.
well, that's me. I can't spell. So
But basically,
If y'all
they're
get a
supposed to be like little metal shards or something within this stuff that when the insects eat it and digest it, it just rips them out from the inside out. Like John said, you or I could eat it. We could take a spoonful of this diatomaceous soil, earth, and we could eat it, and it would not harm us at all.
Well, you
But
want to know what I?
to be
What
it's
it does
an organic
is
version of
it soaks up all the water.
yeah.
It dehydrates anything it touches.
Well, do you want to know what I recommend?
just burn the house down. I done said that.
I laughed so hard at my own stupid joke I kicked the desk.
I didn't realize it. It's been so much fun. I didn't realize we've gone on that long.
What was your recommendation? I didn't hear it.
That was the recommendation.
If I get spiders in here, yeah, it's over with. I'd rather have
I'm with you
snakes.
on that one.
I'd rather have snakes than spiders.
Oh, heavens. I had to leave work one day because a little black snake had got into the house underneath the kitchen door. My wife was freaking out. I got home. I had lost half a day's pay, plus got dinked for attendance. And I go, hand me those little reacher things you got. There's a couple of
clamp.
Yep, and with a squeeze trigger. And I picked it up and I carried it to the woods and I threw it off in the woods. And I go, that was just a black snake. It's not going to hurt anything. Matter of fact, they're good when that gets grown up a little bit against mice and rats and
poison
other
snakes.
Yeah, other snakes and everything. It don't need to be in the kitchen, but no reason to kill it. No reason to be afraid of it either.
You might
just-
have mice in your kitchen, though, Dan.
Oh no, not anymore. We got plenty of cats outside. We don't have any mice.
Well, I was about to say, when did I send that picture to you, Bill? A couple weeks ago, before I joined on here. It was about a 5-foot chicken snake. It just floated out of a monsoon out there in the road, and that was a mean old chicken snake. But I picked it up and toted it to the woods. So he wanted to bite me really bad.
You got to grab them just right.
Oh yeah, you got had a boot in one hand, letting him bite that, and grabbed him on the back of the head.
Mm-hmm. Used to be a fellow in my neighborhood in Athens had a 8-foot timber rattler.
Oh,
He would take it out in the yard. He had a golf club that had the head cut off of it and a little S hook put on the end. And he would just he would take it for a walk using this golf club and then scoop it up and put it back in the bag and take it inside and put it in a terrarium. And my mama said, you don't never go that way again. You go find another way home from school that is not on your regular walk anymore.
He didn't take it for a walk. He took it for a slither.
Yeah. Well, if he hadn't been careful, it would have been up an oak tree, and he'd never seen it again until it dropped out going, ah!
Well, that is one thing I can say. I haven't seen no rattlesnakes or copperheads down here this year, so knock
we
on
got
wood.
them around here in plenty. Rattlesnakes, copperheads, and water moccasins, because we are near a creek, but not near enough for the water moccasins to be in the yard. But the rest of them, I'm glad for the harmless ones that actually keep the rodent population down. But the venomous ones I could really do without. I wish they'd just kind of move off to wherever the coyotes went to when they got scared of my cats.
Yeah, I still have coyotes, but they're so hard to keep away.
I know they're back there. They just stopped showing up. I don't know why.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one. I can just hear them lately. Having possum problems now.
Yeah, we got a couple of raccoons that think are
Build you some possum traps. Bait them with.
We got a couple of raccoons that think the cat food bowls outside are a buffet. They'll actually climb a 6-foot chain link fence to eat alongside the cats.
Yeah, that's what they do at my little sister's. She showed me pictures of them sitting next to the cats eating the food.
Mm-hmm.
And they get along with each other. So.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, okay. One of the cats is just looking over and going, "Cousin Otis, you done grown."
All right, gentlemen, I'm done.
10 o'clock.
Yep.
Your time,
right,
11 o'clock ours.
Dan, you want to end this thing, or?
I think you should, because I've got to go fire up the stuff for mine.
That's
you do still have
fingers
ops
on the button. I'm ready to go. Whatever you guys.
You still have ops too, Dan.
Yeah, skunk, go for it. Go for it.
Don't you have to start your show? Or
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you want to stop this one to start yours, or do you want me to stop it since you can start yours?
Either you or Skunk go ahead and stop this one, and I've got to go and get mine set up.
Don't hit the button right away, John. Well, I'm gonna hit the outro. When the outro is finished, then you hit the end broadcast button.
Hit the outro, Skunk.
There we go. Have a good night, everybody.
Good
night, everybody.
Just stop.
I've slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.